Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How are y'all this morning? It's another day above ground, another day to be thankful, and another day to spread your positivity. It may be raining outside, but hey, be thankful for the rain because guess what? After every rain, there is a rainbow. Look at this. Something else to be positive about. So don't think about the rain. Think about the rainbow that's coming after the rain. Like, hey, it's another day. So we're going to get started with our deep breathing. We're going to inhale and we're going to hold for 10 seconds. Hey, if you can't hold it for 10 seconds, it's okay. And when we exhale, we're going to exhale all the toxicity. We're going to exhale the negativity. And we're going to exhale yesterday because it's gone. We're going to focus on today and right now. And we're not going to think about tomorrow because tomorrow is not here yet. So we're going to start off with our deep breathing this morning. If you can, take a deep breath with me and inhale and hold for 10 seconds. And exhale. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today yet again to say thank you. We thank you, Lord, for the activity of our limbs. We thank you for sound mind. We thank you, Lord, for just waking up with a sound mind in our own homes or just a roof over our head, Lord. We thank you for the clothes on our backs and in our closet. We thank you for the food that is in our kitchen, Lord. We thank you for the ability to be able to move around however that might be. We ask that you would just keep your hedge of protection and your angels encamped about us as we go and we come. We ask that you would keep those angels around our family members, Lord. We thank you for sparing them also for another day. We thank you just for sustaining us through this pandemic, Lord, because it has been a long time, Lord. We just thank you for sustaining us through it. We just want to thank you also, Lord, for just life itself. We thank you for the beauty of nature around us, that sometimes we don't have time to just stop and take a moment, but we thank you for it, Lord. And we ask that you just continue to bless each and every endeavor that from everyone under the sound of my voice. We thank you for being a God that overlooks our faults and our flaws, and you love us and you bless us anyway, Lord. We thank you for that. We love you, but you loved us first, Lord. And we just want to give thanks and ask these blessings in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Today is Random Wednesday. Good morning, Yvette Abel. How you doing this morning? Good morning, Alma. How are you this morning? So today, okay, y'all. So today is like so random because like I woke up last night and I was like, we're going into June. And I wonder how many people actually kept up with their New Year's resolutions. Good morning, Miss Bobby Norman Cabbage. Good morning. I was just wondering, like, how many of us actually kept up with our New Year's resolutions? Like, I really wonder that. Because I'm trying. I really tried. Good morning, Mary. Good morning. Like, I'm trying to keep up with my New Year's resolutions. But this year, I went about it a little differently. Instead of saying, well, I think I want to do this, I want to try to do this, I did more manifesting this year instead of like the hoping and the wishing. Good morning, Kimberly. How are you? Instead of the hoping and the wishing. Before we really get into everything today, I just want to ask you all to send a prayer up for my dad. My dad is having surgery this morning. So I know God got him. I know God got the surgeons. But I just ask that y'all just, send a prayer, for my dad, that he goes well, and that he comes home. And hey, I can love on my dad because we're talking about men's health. So Morning, Joan. Good morning. So yeah, I just want y'all to just pray with me and touch and agree, for my dad's surgery to go well, so he can come home and I can just love all on my daddy because I am such a daddy's girl, FYI. But yeah, so let's get into our day. So I just want to know, what was some of y'all's New Year's resolutions, and how far into that resolution? Have you kept it? Did you forget about it by that second week of January or by the first week of February? Because we are going to do. Literally, we are 6 months into the year. It felt like this year just kind of just went on by. Thank you so much, Amma. Thank you so much, Bobby. Good morning, Marjorie. Good morning, Angel. Thank you so much, Joe. So yeah, I didn't do so. I am a journaler. Okay, I promise you, journals everywhere. Thank you, Linda. Thank you so much, and good morning to you. So my New Year's resolutions were kind of a little different this year. They were more so I started off the year this year definitely different. Starting off the year this year, I wanted to try something different because when you keep doing the same thing, you're not going to get different results. So this year, thank you, Jonathan, and good morning to you. Good morning to you. Thank you again, Marjorie. I did something a little different this year. I started off I detoxed, but literally detoxed from social media. Because I wanted to see how much stuff. Good morning, Jalen. I wanted to see how much stuff I could get done. Because I felt like I could probably get more done if I wasn't on social media. You know how our phones be going off, we be checking that Snapchat, we be checking everything, okay? Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I really had to straight detox myself from all social media for the month of January because I felt like I wanted to try something different to see if I could get different results for the year. And it actually worked. It actually worked. Because it takes 30 days for you to start a new habit or even to break a habit. Whether it's a good habit, whether it's a bad habit, it takes 30 days to break those habits. So in detoxing from the social media, I was able to do my routines in the morning of saging in the morning, doing my meditation in the morning. And it taught me in the morning that instead of being so busy, to just stop and take a moment in the morning before starting my day to just really calm myself and to really just kind of just woosah before starting my day. And in those 30 days, I was able to get so much done. I am maybe halfway through my list of New Year's resolutions. And the crazy part is and during that detox time of no social media, no none of that, I was able to get almost half my list done for my, well, I don't want to call them New Year's resolutions, but things I want to accomplish in 2021. I was able to do half my list. I was able to, good morning, Karen. I started back painting again. Good morning, Zeta. Good morning. I think that sometimes when we make these New Year's resolutions, because everybody makes the New Year's resolution, if I want to lose weight, I want to get healthier. I think those are the main two New Year's resolutions that most people make. And usually by February, they're yeah, I don't feel it. I'm too tired. It's memberships spike in January, but by February, March, yeah, half them people ain't going to the gym. So it can definitely get to a point where you know, I think is Jalen said that is what's coming for us after this week. I think instead of us thinking in terms of saying that we're going to do New Year's resolutions, I think instead of calling them resolutions, I think we should just start making lists of things we want to accomplish, things we want to change. And instead of us setting these long-term goals or, like for the whole year, maybe we should do it like maybe every 3 months and then just come back and revisit. Because sometimes I find that when we make lists, because I make lists of everything. When you make lists and you set realistic goals for yourself, 90 days is a realistic goal for you to set, for you to try to change something or for you to try to accomplish something, because it doesn't overwhelm you. And the more time you give yourself is more time to think like, okay, well, I got tomorrow. I got tomorrow. I can probably do it next week, or I'll try that next month, or I'll start that in April. So if we give ourselves like 90 days to accomplish a goal, that is enough time to, because like I said, 30 days is how long it takes for you to start or to break a habit. So shorter goals allow us to accomplish more. And when you put them in the categories of things I want to accomplish, things I want to change, or things I want to try. So by breaking it down into categories instead of having one list, sometimes it helps to make vision boards. Sometimes it helps to make a board of things you want to accomplish, so that way as you accomplish them, you can start taking them down off that board, and you will see your accomplishments. And when you see your accomplishments and you start to see more of that board being empty, it gives you a sense of pride. It gives you that happy feeling, instead of looking at it like, well, I ain't got nothing done. I ain't. Set yourself up for success. And setting yourself up for success, give yourself only 90 days. Don't give yourself 12 months. Give yourself 90 days and see how much you can accomplish in those 90 days. And it's not too late to even start now of doing those 90 days. It's not too late to start now. Just think of some, if you could stop now and think, what is one thing? Give yourself three things. What is one thing you want to accomplish? What is one thing you want to change? And what is one thing you want to try? Like, you can just do one thing and give yourself 90 days for those one thing in each category, and see if you don't accomplish them in 90 days. Like, instead of saying, well, I want to lose weight, set a goal of 90 days to say, hey, I want to work out at least 3 times a week. This might be hard at first, especially if you haven't worked out in a really long time, but give yourself 90 days. And in those 90 days, you might start off in the first week, you probably won't even work out at all. But the next week, you might get up one day and be like, okay, I got this. I got this. Then the next week, you might do 2 days. And then the next week, you might do 3 days. But in giving yourself those short-term goals, it allows you to accomplish more. Because by saying you want to work out 3 days a week, it's more feasible and easier to accomplish than saying for the whole year, I want to lose this amount of weight. Because by the time you check in at the end of the year, or even check in after those 3 months, those 90 days, you'll be surprised at how much either inches you've lost, how much weight you've lost. Because once you get to those 3 days, well, now for the next 90 days, you can set your goal of, now I want to work out 5 or 6 days a week. So you slowly increase your days the same way that you would with the first 90 days of 3 days, the second 90 days. So now you're already at 3 days. So that next week you add a day. Take your time, because you have to change your resistance. You have to build up that resistance. So now that you've accomplished that 4 days a week, okay, that next week you hit that 5 days. And that's how you are able to reach your goals. And by setting the long-term goals, you're actually accomplishing long-term goals. Because if you're checking in every 90 days, now instead of you worried about looking at that scale, instead of worried about checking your inches on your waist, you're more focused on a goal that is more feasible for you, of saying, I just want to work out 5 days a week. Don't focus on how much you're losing, and as you're working out, slowly increase your water intake. So for those first 90 days, while you're building up to working out 3 days a week, start off with a glass of water. If you're a person that doesn't like water, start off with a glass of water. And each day, a glass of water. And then as that becomes more easier for you, and as you remember every day, I need to drink a glass of water. Well, then the next week, 2 glasses of water. Increase it. You want to keep increasing until you can get to a gallon, or until you can get to, at least 32 to 64 ounces of water a day. But slowly. You don't just pick up a gallon of water and just start walking around the house like, yeah, I got to drink this. Oh my goodness, I can't do this. It's okay. Take your time. It's not when you get to the finish line, it's how you get to the finish line. And you get to the finish line by setting reasonable goals. Joan says, detox, limiting my cocktails to one day on Friday and Saturday in the morning, 2 cocktails. Yeah, right. Girl, you better come on here. Come on now. You can set them short-term goals. Zeta says that is true. You're welcome, Marjorie. Marjorie says, thank you. I love that. Jalen says, woo, the changes are happening daily. It may be any goal. Losing weight is about all weights. Absolutely. And that's why I say, don't set yourself up for failure in anything. Jalen said, great. Thank you, Jonathan. He says, great advice. Jalen says it's getting to the finish line. It is. It's when you think of races, think of that old school story they used to tell us, the tortoise and the hare. Remember? Slow and steady wins the race. It's not about you working out every day because your goal is to lose 5 pounds a week. Let me tell you something. Sometimes when people set goals like that, they do unreasonable things. They do unreasonable things like starving themselves, or only drinking liquids for a whole month, or, well, I'm just not going to eat today, and then tomorrow I'll just drink water, and then the next day, no. In setting your goals, you have to be healthy. You have to be healthy in setting your goals. Don't do anything that will cause harm to you, whether it be mentally, whether it be physically, whether it be spiritually, or whether it even be financially. Do not set goals that can harm you in any of those areas in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It's the same thing with buying a house. If you know you want to buy a house and that's one of your goals, short-term goals, within those first 90 days, set a certain amount. Say, okay, every time I get paid, I want to take $100 out of my check every time I get paid. And you put it in an account that makes it so much of a hassle to get out of that you're not going to have to worry about, oh, them shoes on sale. I know I got some money saved up. Let me just go and transfer this real quick or get that car. No, you have to set yourself up and put money in an account that makes it hard for you to get out, because in putting that money in an account that makes it hard for you to get out, let me tell you, you're not gonna want to go through no hassle to get no $100 out for no shoes that you don't need no way. I promise you. And now after those 90 days, see how much you've stacked after those 90 days. And if you see that you've stacked a good amount, now you can look at your budget to see, okay, for the next 90 days, can I do $150? What is it that is something that I don't need, that I'm spending money on, that I could be saving, like eating out? If you're a good cook, or you can at least cook to survive, buy foods or buy meals that you can cook. Instead of eating out at Wendy's or that 4 for $4 or that biggie bag for $5, or the Starbucks. Go without Starbucks for a month and see how much, every time you would think to go to Starbucks, the amount that you would spend at Starbucks. Get you a jar. Doesn't matter. Get you a jar, get you a jug, whatever. Every time you would think about either going out to eat or going out to Starbucks, put that money, the amount that you were going to spend, in a jar and walk away from it. Put it on your bed, put it in your closet, put it somewhere else. And let that be, and that can even be your start of your first 90 days. Every time you think you want to go out and eat something, take that money, that $5 for that $5 biggie bag, put it in a jar, walk away. Out of sight, out of mind. When you come home at the end of the night, the change in your pocket, put it in the jar, walk away. You would be surprised at the end of the month how much money you got in that job. You will be super surprised at how much you spend on eating out or Starbucks or whatever else. You will be extremely surprised how much money you will save if you would just take that money and put it in the jar, out of sight, out of mind. When you come home, put it in the jar, don't see it till you time to put more money in it. And then at the end of that month, sit down, or at the end of that 90 days, count it. Wait the 90 days and count it. And then once you see how much you've saved, I guarantee you can save minimum $500 that way. Minimum. And by doing that, you'll see that after that 90 days, now you can start saving more. And by the end of the year, you might even have enough, not only for a down payment on the house, but you might have enough money to pay for half the house. So you absolutely, Bobby says it's best to set small, attainable goals every month, even for the week. That way it doesn't seem like a huge deal. Yes, absolutely. Frugal. Good morning, Frugal Mama. Good morning. Bobby says the pandemic shows Samuel Kubich, the second and the first, how much money we were spending on going out. It was crazy. When you think about, like for me, when I go out, because it's me and my children, and I be trying to find, I try not to eat out that much. Like we might go to Subway or, or Pot Bellies or something like that. But when you think about how much you spend, a minimum, like for me, it will be a minimum of $20 for all of us to eat. And that's the minimum, bare minimum. So instead of taking that money and going out to eat, take that $20, I would take that $20, put it away, and go fix something to eat in the kitchen. And I was surprised. When I say I was totally blown away, I was blown back, honey. Okay, look, baby, I was blown back about how much I had saved by not eating outside of my house. Like we did that for 90 days. We did not eat outside of my house for anything. Anything they wanted, eat, drink. If it didn't come from the grocery store, we didn't eat it, because I wanted to see how much we could save in that short time frame. So you have to set, like Bobby says, set small, attainable goals. If you feel that the 90 days is even overwhelming for you, then make it smaller. Make it a monthly goal, or set a weekly goal of every week you want to put away $5. Because here's the thing. When we buy things, we have to start learning to buy things that appreciate and not depreciate. Jewelry, cars, all that depreciates. But if we start investing, like when our children are little, like from the week that they're born, or literally once we find out we're having children, like if you put $10 a week away, by the time your child is 21, they'd almost be a millionaire. They would almost be a millionaire. Like buying buildings, like 2 flats or houses and that's something we don't do a lot of. We need to start investing in things that appreciate. So that way over time, we get investments back. Instead of, because when you buy that car, as soon as you pull out that lot, if you paid $10,000 for that car, as soon as you pulled off that lot, that car was only worth $8,000. It starts depreciating the moment you sit your behind in that seat. Because I guarantee you, if you decide to change your mind, they're gonna be like, well, the value of the car has changed. Like what? I only had it a week. But that's how quickly things can depreciate. Gold depreciates. Even the US dollar is not worth what it was overseas. Certain things we have to learn how to invest. Invest in ourselves, invest in our children, and and setting these short-term goals will allow us to do things like that. And I now that I have children that are able to get jobs, it is an amazing thing. It is an amazing thing, let me tell you. Because they see, like, money don't grow on trees. When they would ask for things, and let me tell you, my kids are the ones that like them Jordans, and they like fancy stuff. Let me tell you something. I'm cool at Walmart. I am cool at Walmart, okay? Maybe Ashley Stewart, even some rainbow. I don't have to have $300 pair of gym shoes, but these kids nowadays, oh my goodness, I don't understand how they stand in line for these $300 and $400 gym shoes that are so ugly, or either gym shoes that we wore when we were teenagers and kids that now they paying $300 and $400 for. I look at some of these shoes and be like, those were out in the '90s, and now y'all paying $400 and $500 for these shoes. Like, it's absolutely crazy that they pay this much for shoes. Yvette says, that is right. I save all the single dollars from my change. So far, it's $50 in a 2-month time. Money draws money. Yeah. Jalen says, yes. Being too quick to make a decision can cost. Looking good doesn't make it valuable for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I look at the fashion even today, and I look at how they're charging $300 for t-shirts, $1,500 for dresses. And I'm like, oh, what? No, ma'am. Absolutely not. Like, you're paying almost mortgage and rent to wear a piece of clothing that 9 times out of 10 you only gonna put on your body once. Once. And some of this fashion is not even cute. Like, I don't know how y'all feel about today's fashion, but some of this stuff is absolutely not cute to me. And it costs so much to wear it. It's like, then you have on the other side of that, you have designers that publicly announce how they feel about certain people wearing their clothes. And yet, we still continue to patronize those designers and still wear those labels. We've got to care more. We've got to do more. If a designer says that he did not design his clothes to be on my skin tone or for people that look like me to wear it, then I'm not going to buy it. Because why would I put money in your pocket when you specifically say that you don't want me wearing your clothes? I'm going to stop wearing them. And I'm going to have my children stop wearing them. Like, we have so much power that we don't even realize that we have. We have so much power. Yvette says people don't know how to budget shop. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have some people that just refuse to shop at places like Walmart or Target or, Rainbow and places like that. But you'd be surprised, honey. You'd be surprised at some of the cute outfits that you can get out of those places. Like even the small boutiques that you see in the mall. You'd be surprised at some of the outfits in there that you could find that don't necessarily have to break your budget or break your pocket, especially when you're looking for something that you might need for an event or something like that. You shouldn't have to break your budget for that. And if it's not in your budget, don't buy it. Don't buy it. I've always thought, my opinion, clearly my opinion, if I couldn't afford it, I didn't need it. Because it doesn't make sense for you to not need something, but to want something. And then you have to decide, because you want it, you have to decide what you're going to give up, what bill is not going to get paid, or which bill you can pay half of, or which bill you can pay late for, so you can have this item. We've got to do better about our budgeting. We've got to do better about setting our realistic goals, our short-term and attainable goals, and stop living above our means. Stop trying to rob Peter to pay Paul because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Because guess what? The Joneses ain't even keeping up. They robbing Peter to pay Paul too, because they trying to keep up an image that they want other people to want. Live for yourself. Live within your means. Live within your budget. Jalen says, life is calling. Love you guys. Have a Wednesday out of this world. Absolutely. Thanks for coming by, Jalen. Yvette says, matter of fact, what is your Girl, no. Yvette said, why? Because you appreciate and you also appreciation without favoritism. Love the topics and the unity in this group. Good morning, Ben. Good morning. Like I want everybody to my end goal, like for real, is I just want to see everybody win. And that's it. Like I try to find ways and topics that I can come up with that helps everybody win. I want everybody to win, because I feel like if we can if we can all win together, why not? Why not if we can all win together? You have to pick when you move forward, help somebody else along. Hey, good morning, Bev. Good morning. When you move forward, help somebody else move forward. If there's something that you've learned about your industry or something about your business that could help someone, pass that information along. It never hurts to help somebody. We want to elevate, but let's elevate together. Let's do what we can to elevate together. And, I really appreciate y'all like really rocking with me on these topics because I know that some of my topics have been kind of like, ooh. But I'm trying to find ways that, hey, we can all win together. Bev says Black people spend billions outside of their own community. Absolutely. Like they had a study that showed um how long the Black dollar stays in the community, how long the Jewish dollar stays in the community, how long the Asian dollar stays in the community. Um, and we actually had the lowest time. We had the lowest time that Black dollars stayed in the community. Um, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Jewish that had the longest time, and then Asian came in second. But we had the lowest time. Like our dollar does not stay. Our dollar does not stay in the community very long. It absolutely doesn't. So it's like we have to we have to find ways that we can um, do better about our customer service. Um, we do because I know for me, I I don't want to spend my money in places where I don't feel welcome or appreciated. If I come into your business and I smile and I'm good morning, how are you? Because trust me, this is every day. When I go in places, I'm like, hey, good morning, how you doing? And you instead of getting the good morning, how are you back, you get the um you work here. You're supposed to make me want to come in and spend my money. Like, or if I ask a question like, excuse me, I was looking for that ain't my department. Well, do you know who? No. Well, can you call somebody? Hold on a minute. You be like, never mind. I'll go somewhere else. No, thank you. Like, no. Yvette says, I feel the same way. Always trying to help and support my people. Man Q says, look what happened to Black Wall Street. We have more power than we all realize. Absolutely. Man Q said, of course we did. That shouldn't surprise anyone. Frugal Mama says, because we have no actual community. Man Q says, we are quick to go outside of our own community and spend that money and we pay more for it. We do. We do. But we've got to, when, but sometimes as Black business owners, we have to do better about our customer service too, though. Like, you can't have employees with nasty attitudes or employees that act like they don't want to be there. Like, you ever go to a McDonald's and you go to place your order, you like, good morning, can I have, hold on. You like, okay, I'll be with you in a minute. You like, all right then, they go to take your order and is that it? You like, no, I have something. Okay, then go ahead. I mean, like, you get offended, like for giving them your order where they work. And those are the things I'm talking about. Like, I don't want to feel like when I'm placing an order, or if I'm asking you questions about your business or what it is you provide, like, sometimes things are not clear. If you want to ask, what are the ingredients to something because you may be allergic to something, you shouldn't be made to feel like you annoying somebody because you asking them what are the ingredients because you want to make sure there's something in it that you're not allergic to. Like, that's why we got to do better about our customer service. And that's why so many times we go outside of our neighborhoods to purchase things because we want to be made to feel like they welcome in our dollar. They're happy to see us as customers. And that's the problem. Like, you can even walk into some of these stores, like Burlington. Why is it that when you walk into stores in our neighborhoods, they look a hot mess? They look like some 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds was in there and just had them a good old time. Everything on the floor, nothing's on the rack. The stuff that is on the rack is in the wrong department. It's in the wrong area. Like, come on, y'all. We gotta do better. When you walk in the store, you want the store to look nice. You don't want the item you purchasing on the floor while you watching people step on it or step over it, and even employees stepping over it or walking past it. And that's not what you want when you go shopping. If you're looking for a size 12, you don't expect to find size 20, size 8, size 2 in the size 12 section. Like, come on, we've got to do better about customer service. We've got to do better about how we treat people when we have businesses. We've got to train our employees. If you have an employee that's constantly with the nasty attitude, then baby, guess what? She might need to find another job. She might need to find another job. If you don't like people, please stop getting customer service jobs. If you do not like people, you do not like interacting with people, please do not get jobs that require you to interact or talk to the public. Please don't. Because then in your irritation and your frustration, you take it out on the customers. And that's not cool. That is absolutely not cool. Ivory says, good morning, Ivory. She says, customer service is part of the job that most people lack. Absolutely. ManQ says, black businesses fall short with customer service. Some don't open on time. You feel underappreciated. Yvette says, you got that right. Our customer service is effed up. I agree. It's Ivory says, especially in the black community. ManQ says, black people are always looking for the free. Sister, could you give me a break? True. True. Yvette says, you sign up to say, can I help you? You're right. And you do. That's what customer service is, just that. Customer service. You are here to serve the customer. I don't care if you had a bad day. I don't care if you slept wrong. When you get up and you walk in that job, it should be, good morning. How are you? Are you looking for something today? Like, Zeta says, I'm quick to write into the corporate office because they want to know what's going on in their stores. We do. As customers, when you feel disrespected, you feel unappreciated, ask for the manager. I don't care how it makes that employee feel. Ask to speak to the manager. And if the manager is nasty, ask for corporate number. Because please believe, I'm like you, Zeta, I'll call corporate in a heartbeat. I'm like, I'm sorry, can I have your name? And while she's talking, I'm writing names on receipts. Like, okay, yeah, I'm writing names. And for the ones that don't wear name tags, I'll write descriptions. Because everybody should have on a name tag, but unfortunately they don't. So because they don't, I write descriptions and times and dates. Like, I went into your store at this date, this time, spoke to this employee. She was quite nasty and rude. Asked to speak to the manager. The manager was quite nasty, quite rude. Her name was this. And so I'm calling you all to let you know that I will be writing a review. And it will not be a positive one because I don't appreciate how I was treated. Let me tell you something. Corporate be quick. Well, we could give you a gift certificate. We're so sorry that it happened. And I guarantee you that if you call in enough about different employees because their nastiness and their rudeness, eventually corporate is going to come in and change all that. I wouldn't be surprised if when you went back the next time, the employee wasn't there. Because we've got to speak up when we go in businesses and we're not treating like I've been in places where I could be standing there for 15 minutes, like literally standing there trying to figure out where it is that I'm looking for, trying to see what I'm looking for. And the employees will either be standing behind the counter on their phone, having a conversation, like, don't ask if I need help. What am I looking for? No, nothing. So I'll take a picture and I leave and then I call back. And I'll add because those type like the boutiques, they usually don't have managers and the owner's not usually there. I'll call back and ask for the owner. Because unless we speak up about how the rudeness and the nastiness, nothing will change. Nothing will change. We've got to be the voices of the change. We have to. And I agree, Zay, that it works. It absolutely works. And that's why so many times we don't purchase things in our neighborhood. You know, you want to go somewhere. Ivory says, hell, the managers are just as nasty and corporate doesn't enforce anything based on the demographic of the area because they know black people don't care for real. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes that is the case. You have times where um, sometimes you have to call corporate more than once, unfortunately. But and it does happen sometimes in black neighborhoods, depending on who is the owner of the company. But most oftentimes, I find that if I call and instead of me calling like, "Yeah, I went there and this happened," call them like, "Hi, I'm calling because I purchased an item at your store," and But we have to sometimes work on our approach. Sometimes we have to work on our approach to things. You know, when even in our frustration, sometimes and maybe looking for something or wanting help, sometimes our attitudes can be nasty. So we sometimes have to check our attitudes when we're asking for help or we need somebody. Yvette says, I don't support nobody that treats me like shit. I don't care who it is. Most of us have that messed up attitude with each other and yet want support from others in their biz. And the prices for some of the mess is super crazy. I don't know. I don't have time for the mess. I even agree with how you say, come to work looking and smelling like loud. OMG. I've been in Walmart and the guys have their pants down, like up under their butt with the little vest on. They be outside doing carts. And I'd be like, excuse me, young man, you work here? And they'll be like, yeah, I work here. And I'd be like, can you pull your pants up because you at work, right? They'd be like, hey, you don't have to if you don't want to. I just report you to your manager. Because if you at work, you need to look like you at work. I don't want to get high walking past you. Do that at home. Don't do that before you come to work. Like we have to set a standard. We have to set a standard. Ivory says UPS is the worst in my neighborhood. Yeah, it is. The post office is like, oh, I can't even begin to describe the post office in our neighborhood. Like the people in there don't want to help you. They ignore you. Like especially with your packages. Like, oh, the post office is the worst place to ship a package. It absolutely is. Man, Q says that's so true. Jules on 87th was good for that. I stopped going in there. One day I walked in at 5:30. Line was down the aisle. So I called for the manager. He has much attitude, so I called corporate right there. That happened repeatedly. So they asked me not to patronize their stuff because if I want that kind of service, go to the white neighborhood. We had serious words. I haven't been in the Jewels on 87th in 4 years. Thank goodness for Mariano's. OMG, yes. Honey, yes. Absolutely, man, Q. The post office on 83rd. Oh, honey. Like, I had packages. My son and I had packages. We had like 6 packages. And it kept saying they would deliver it, deliver it, deliver it. I'm like, okay, it says our packages were delivered like 2 going on 3 weeks. Oh, well, I'm sure they're in the back somewhere. We would have to look for them. Okay. Don't you have employees in the back? Go look for them while I'm standing here. Oh, well, you're going to have to fill out a form because we would have to go back there and look through all them boxes and stuff. So you're going to have to fill out a form for us to go look for. What you mean I got to fill out a form to go look for a package that you lied and said was delivered? Like, explain that to me. I'm not understanding. Like, OMG, like I do not get it. Like, how is it that they have managed to change their system to say that when they get packages, that they mark them as delivered? And then you have to sit and figure out where your package is. And then when you go to look on your app to say, or you look for the tracking number to say where your package is, it says it was delivered to the front desk or reception. Like, no. like, I don't understand how they were able to change there, but it's not everywhere though. That's the crazy part. It's not everywhere. I have friends that live up north. If they say they have a package and they didn't get it and they go get it, oh, hold on, let me go to the back and get your package. They come out with your package. But when we want our packages, well, you got to fill out that form because we got to go look through all them packages. Like, I don't care. That's your job. You work at the post office. Like, that's crazy. You get paid not to do your job, but I got to fill out paperwork to make you do your job. Yeah, we got to do better. We've got to do better. Maggie says, I will drive past 83rd and go to the post office on 105th, the best service. I get my mail delivered to my job. Absolutely. Like, I bypass that one all the time. I'll go all the way to Evergreen, like just to get a package. Like, my mail lady, even we've had issues where she's thrown my mail over the gate. Like, my dogs won't even be outside. Like, and I have 4 dogs. I got a large, a small, and 2 medium dogs. And the dogs won't even be outside because I try to make sure that when the mail is delivered, that they're not outside so she doesn't get bothered. She don't care. She don't care. Some days, if she don't feel like walking up my gangway to put my mail on my mailbox, she'll go up to my neighbor's porch and throw my mail over, so it'll be on the ground. I mean, I don't care if it's rain, if it's snow, and then sometimes she just won't even deliver it. She'll just mark dog on it, and I won't get no mail for like 2 weeks. You know, we have to use our voices. We have to use our voices when we find things that we don't like, or we find things that are unacceptable treatment. You know, how people talk to us. Use your voice. Don't shop there. Call corporate. Speak to the managers. Don't just walk away thinking that, oh, well, this was just a bad experience. You know, Man Q says Trump had a lot to do with that. He had something to do with it, but it was there before he got in office. It's just he made people feel that it was okay to be racist, point blank, period. Like that, there's no other way to sugarcoat it. Like, he just made people feel like it's okay to just be point blank racist. Like, yeah, like just wear it on your shirt like a badge. Like, he truly made it okay. Okay, this is a man that made it okay for the KKK to have rallies again. Like, I mean, down the middle of town, middle of the street, start posting flyers that they recruiting. Like, they were really putting out recruitment flyers. Like, come on. This is the society we're living in now. Like, so we have to voice our opinions like everybody else. It's okay to say you don't like that treatment. It's okay to say you don't like how this store looks. Call corporate and tell them every time you walk in the store, clothes everywhere. Store look like it just got robbed. And you see the employees just sitting there. Say something. It's okay. It's okay. If you go to restaurants and your waitress has a nasty attitude, ask for the manager. I've been a waitress. I know. And that's why I say, if you don't like people, do not do customer service because you are in service of other people. And it doesn't matter how you feel. You still have to treat people with respect. You still have to respect people. And so I want us to take away from, even if it's just today, when you experience something that you feel is below your standards or you feel is not acceptable, don't just take it. Say something. It's okay. It's your money. Your money that you spend it. You should be able to spend it where you feel comfortable, where you feel welcomed, and you feel wanted. Point blank, period. You should not spend your money with someone who is not going to respect you or treat you right. I know I don't want to. I don't care if it's Wendy's. I don't care if it's Walgreens. I don't care if it's Strad right. If your attitude ain't right, you're just not gonna get my money. And I'll go online and find it. Or I'll go to another store to find it, but I just won't shop there. So and for those of us that own businesses, we've got to train our staff. We've got to train our staff. It's called service with a smile for a reason. You better smile through that anger or call off something. But we've got to do companies have to do better about training for customer service positions. And I think that needs to be in a job description. Positive attitude, ability to smile. Like, it's sad, but those need to be in the job description when we talk about customer service. Man Q says, I get all my packages delivered to my job in Glenview, and I've never had an issue since. No missing packages, no late packages. That is certainly an issue here. I don't know about other states, but I know here, especially like around like Mother's Day, Christmas, things like that, they deliver packages, and when they deliver packages, they leave them on your doorstep. I mean, they leave them out in the open for anybody to see, and they steal your packages. And then the first thing they say is, well, they a lot of times when they deliver packages, they don't ring doorbells to let you know that somebody's at your door. They just walk up to the door and just drop the package. So then you might even be at home and not even know that you got a package sitting on your doorstep. Especially if you don't have like a ring doorbell or anything like that where you can see outside, you might not even know you got a package because they don't ring the doorbell to say, hey, you have a package here, or would you like me to put it somewhere? And I've even had it where I put on there specifically, deliver my packages and put them in my garage. And what do? They leave them right there by my front door. I've had packages left right in front of my gate. Like, how hard is that to just put the package where I asked you to put it so that it's not in plain sight and that my packages aren't stolen? Just Joan says, in my lifetime, have left baskets filled with groceries, clothes on the counter when the service is ignorant. Yep. Man Q says, and that is so sad. Absolutely. Man Q says, remember when they were stealing ring doorbells? Yes. At one point, they were stealing ring doorbells. Like, I don't know what else to say about some of our communities. Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You absolutely cannot make them drink. Like, I know times are really hard with this pandemic and things like that, but they have provided so many resources to people during this pandemic. They have opened up resources for people to receive aid like medical cards and stamps and things like that. Even people who weren't eligible before are now eligible due to the pandemic. And you have a lot of people that, because of their pride or for whatever reason, just don't want to do that. But then they'd rather stand on the corner because food is not what they really want to ask for money. Or they go out and stealing, and now it seems like during this pandemic, it seems like crime has really risen. It has really risen. Nancy says, and they wonder why they won't let us in some neighborhoods or raise the rent to keep us out. And I totally get it. And they have done that. They absolutely have done that. Accountability. Not only do we have to hold ourselves accountable, but we need to hold our brothers and our sisters accountable too. If you know somebody is doing dead wrong, you got to call them on it. You got to call them on it. And sometimes I find that there have been times where I've been in places and I've seen people with nasty customer service. And because I'm the type of person that if I see somebody having a bad day, I might try and make you laugh or something. I might walk past and be like, you better put a smile on that pretty face. And like something simple like that, or change their whole attitude. Or I'd be like, what's bothering you today? Because you standing there looking like today is not the day. Like, and they'll start laughing and be like, girl, but I know that that's not for everybody. But sometimes, and how I've said so many times that sometimes a smile can change a person's disposition. Good morning, Carlington. How are you? Like sometimes it can absolutely, change a person's disposition sometimes. We never know why people have bad attitudes, but we've got to teach our young people that because most of them have jobs in customer service, that we have to teach them that you have to leave your problems at home. You can't bring your problems to work. You can be mad at home, you can be irritated at home, but when you get to work, you need to leave that outside the doors of work, especially when you're in the customer service industry, because you can't allow yourself to treat people based off what someone experienced of someone else at home. This is your job. This is your job. And so you should act accordingly. And that's something we need to teach our young people. Man, Q says, when I lived in my old neighborhood, I was ready to run back up north. But the reality is, nowhere is safe. Community is what you make of it. It's your community. Make it work, get involved. Absolutely. Like when we had the looting situation, it broke my heart. And I cried. Ooh, I cried like a baby. Because I got caught out in it. At the time, my son was working for Jules. And I called myself, like I got a notification, and I was like, oh, let me just go get some milk, bread, eggs, and cheese. Simple basics. But it was like I sat and I watched because I couldn't even get home. Like I had to sit and watch people that didn't even live in my neighborhood come from every which way, and they destroyed every single store in my neighborhood. And what made me sad was in my neighborhood, we have a lot of seniors. We have a lot of seniors. And the places around my house are convenient for those seniors to shop at. And they destroyed everything. They literally went store by store by store. They tore up our grocery stores. They took all the medication out of our grocery stores. They even broke in the dialysis center that is down the street from my house and destroyed the dialysis center. Um, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because it left me wondering what happens to our seniors. What happens to our seniors when they can't, get out. Some of these seniors don't have cars, and these are places that can get their medicine to them. Or, they may have someone. That was my first question and my first thought. Like I checked on some of my neighbors who were seniors to see if they needed anything, whether it be if I could go to the pantry to get some food just to give them. We have to get involved with our neighborhoods. If it's something simple as a block club or a phone tree, just so that we can check on our neighbors. A lot of us don't know our neighbors. We can live right next door to somebody for 10, 15 years and not know who lives in that house. We've got to get our community back. We talked about this in parenting. We've got to get our community back where we check on each other, where we get to know people, where we have old school block parties, where we take that car and park at the end of the block and block it off, and then you have your little jumping jacks in the middle. You got auntie over here with the butter cookies and the popcorn, and somebody over here grilling the hot dogs and the hamburgers for the kids. We got to get back to that. We've got to get back to that, and if we took the time to show some of these kids more love and attention, then maybe we could stop some of these kids from doing some of this stupid stuff like carjacking and feeling like they need something to be a part of. And let's work on this community. I'm asking you all, wherever you are, do something to take steps to try to build community. If it's getting to know your neighbors one at a time, start getting to know your neighbors. You see one of them come out, hey, how you doing? How are you? You live such and such, right? Hi, I'm Bree. How are you? What's your name? I see you all the time and I wanted to speak and I just wanted to say hey to you, see how your day was. And you'll be surprised and they be thinking the same thing, like I want to speak, but I don't know. Good morning, Black Knight. Good morning. But we do. Like just you see your neighbor come out the house, y'all coming out at the same time in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, getting in the car. Morning, neighbor. I'm good for that, even if I don't know your name. Morning, neighbor. Sometimes I don't speak back, it's fine. But you did your part. Good morning. Hey neighbor, how you doing? Girl, I'm liking that skirt. You rocking that look today, girl. But we until we get the community back and get that unity back, some things we just not gonna be able to fix. Some things we're just not gonna be able to fix. And so Zeta says, it was the day after for me. I rode down 59th from Pulaski to State, and I definitely cried. It was a sad sight. It absolutely was. It was really sad to see our businesses destroyed. Like they set fire to the Walmart by my house. They destroyed. They ran in Jewels and destroyed Jewels. Of course, the only thing they destroyed was the liquor section. Um, they they destroyed our other grocery store, Food for Less. They ransacked the place, broke out the windows. They destroyed. I mean, they cleared out everything else, like everything, the rainbows, the jewelry store, the beauty supply. Like it was sad. It was absolutely sad. Zeta says that's all it is. They need to be part of something. Everyone wants to keep things to themselves, share the knowledge. Man, Q says we remember our old neighbor. People like her keep our neighborhoods divided. Absolutely, and she did. Bobby says we also need to get back to adults being able to discipline their own and other kids. Absolutely, because let me tell you something. If my kids get out of order, I'm going to discipline them. I promise you, I am, and I dare you to tell me otherwise. I dare you. Like I had a lady when my children were younger tell me because I was scolding my child quietly, um, and I was telling them not to do that. She was like, don't you don't need to do all that. I said, excuse me, ma'am. No disrespect, but I need you to mind your own business because I don't allow mine to disrespect me or misbehave when we are in public. I do not. So you have a nice day, ma'am. And she was so offended and so mad. Ooh, she was steamed. Like, and I didn't care because we have got to stop acting like we're afraid of our kids. You know, let me tell you something. I'm gonna get you. We're gonna go in that bathroom. We're gonna have a private conversation. And you don't want to have a private conversation with me, okay? My grandkids don't even want to have private conversations with me in the bathroom, especially when they know they've been cut up. I'm trying to tell you, we got to get back to it. We have got to get back to it. So I thank y'all for joining me today. Y'all, look, I did something a little different today. Gave y'all a little color. Did something a little different today. Um, but yeah, you know what? I thank y'all for joining me today. We hit on some pretty good topics. Set no short-term goals. If you could set one short-term goal, whether it be something you want to change, something you want to accomplish, or something you want to try, just set a short-term goal. Something short, and as always, I ask that you all do one random act of kindness. I ask that you just smile at somebody today. I ask that you wave at somebody today, whether it be having that conversation with someone who's different from you, whether it be spiritually, ethnically, or as someone who has a different walk of life from you. I just ask that, one random act of kindness and let that light and that love that's inside of you, that it ooze out so that it spills onto somebody else. And then that spilling out onto someone else, it might spill out onto somebody else. And, we can pay it forward. And as always, I leave you all with positive affirmations. So today I have two positive affirmations for you. The first one is, when I live and act from a place of spiritual alignment, come on now, I can trust that everything is working out for me, even if I don't know when or how it will happen. Come on now, I'm trying to tell you. True manifestations are powered by service and love. Come through with the love. All I ask, one random act of kindness, and let that light and that love ooze out and just spill out onto somebody else. And know that if nobody told you today, I love you and ain't nothing you can do about it. So go about your day with a smile. And I will see you all tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Love you all. Bye now.